Hello, welcome to Art Science. This month we're going to make our bubble painted letter with our letter. And bubbles are a thin layer of water trapped between two layers of soap, and then they trap air inside them and they make a sphere like a ball because there's the least surface tension available when you're in a sphere. So that's a little bit of bubble science. Let's get ready to make our craft. So in your kit, you should have your plain white art paper, some painter's tape, 3 colors of paint, some dish soap, and your straws. If you don't end up using your straws for painting, they have little holes in them, so they're not going to work as regular straws unless you cut them off at the crinkly expando part. From home, you're going to need some water, a spoon, and several shallow cups, either little plastic drinking cups like this, recyclable yogurt cups, anything like that. Let's get started. So the first step will be to decide which direction you'd like your picture to go. You can make your letter go the long way, or you can make your letter go the short way. Totally up to you how you want it to work out. The next step is to very lightly with your pencil write your letter so you can follow along with your tape. Painter's tape is a special kind of tape made from crepe paper treated with a chemical that repels water and also a chemical that makes it stick, but not too sticky, so that when you peel it off your paper, it shouldn't tear your paper. Now you can tear this by hand, or if you want a cleaner edge, you can use scissors to cut pieces to length. And you want to lay it down, so for me I have a K, so I'm going to do my tall back of the K. And then you want to smooth the paper down against the tape down against your paper so that it makes a nice firm stick to the paper so that it will repel the paint, which is mostly water. And I think I gave you enough to do your letter, including a few flubs, because, well, sometimes painter's tape can be tough to deal with. Be sure where you join 2 pieces together, you also really rub that down to make a good seal. You should be able to reposition fairly easily. So if you didn't like where something was, you should be able to peel it up gently and reposition it. All right, so now we have our letter. We're going to mix up our paints. So what you're going to do is take one of your cups and your paint, and you're going to put some dish soap, about a spoonful, and about a spoonful of paint. That's a little harder, the paint is pretty blobby. And then a little water. What's going to happen when we make the bubbles? So a bubble is a layer of water trapped between two very thin layers of soap. And then it traps air inside. When you use paint in the water, the paint color particles are floating in the water, and they get trapped between the layers of soap in the bubble. And then when the bubble bursts, it leaves the paint behind. Now, you can make an artistic choice here. If you want, I was going to say darker. Darker is not quite the right word, but if you want more paint density on your picture, you want to put more paint in here. If you want a lighter level of paint, you don't need as much paint. So you're going to want to open your straw and blow from the shorter end of the straw, and you're going to blow into the paint. Until you have a bunch of bubbles coming out, and then you press your painting down on top, and you get, well, bubbles at this point. So I guess I need more paint. Sometimes it's hard to tell how much paint you're going to need. The other possibility is that I may not have mixed it up very thoroughly. So we'll try that again. What's in my bowl looks more colorful now. Let's try again. All right. And then you can mix up your other colors of paint. So we'll do, rinse my spoon a little. Soap, paint, a little water, give her a good mix up. Rinse off my straw. I love blowing bubbles in paint. And do it again with the green. Green paint. Soap. A little water. Give it a stir up. Rinse the straw. Dip the paper. And just keep going until your paper is all covered. Then you're going to set your painting aside and let it dry. Okay, so now our painting has dried completely, and we're going to pull the tape off carefully and slowly. And you want to start with whichever piece was on top where you joined them together. Pull back slowly. If it's not completely dry, which I guess mine wasn't, it may pull off some paper. Hopefully not so much that it doesn't look nice still. And just go slowly. What happens is when the paper is still wet, it can separate into its layers. Paper is layers of wood pulp pressed and dried together. And when it's wet, it comes apart pretty easily. So if we, like me, didn't wait completely dry, your tape may have pulled a little paper off with it, but it still looks nice, and I can hang this up now on my door. I also think I'm going to keep bubble painting with the rest of my paints because I know I enjoy blowing bubbles in paint very much, and I hope you did too. Enjoy.